Hello, you're listening to the Chinese Chat Poetry Talk podcast. 中文热聊之诗歌漫谈. I'm the host, Li Bai. Welcome to my channel to read Chinese classic poetry, learn and practice Mandarin. On this program, we invite Shenzhan Liao from China Institute, New York, to read and discuss Chinese classic poetry. Welcome, Shenzhan.
My name is Shenzhan Liao. Today is another departing poem by Wang Wei. The title of today's poem is 送元二使安西. Yuan Er is the name of the person who's living. 使 here is to visit. Anxi, literally, we probably can recognize Xi means west. Anxi here literally means west of Chang'an. An represents Chang'an, which was the capital city of Tang Empire from 7th to 10th century. Tang Dynasty, which was perceived as the most powerful dynasty in China with prosperity and openness. Its capital, Chang'an, we may suppose, represents not only a geographic location, but more of the center of the empire. Since early Tang Dynasty, a special agency, in fact, was established to govern the furthest northwest part of the empire. And the name is Anxi. So from the title, we know that Wang Wei's friend, Yuan Er, is living for a place far away from the center of the empire, Chang'an. This is another best-known Tang poem on the theme of departing. 送元二使安西 is a heptasyllabic quatrain. So we have 7 characters in each line, 4 lines altogether. That's the basic format of a heptasyllabic quatrain. Here we provide 2 translations as a comparison. One on the left by Stephen Owen, who's one of the best-known sinologists specializing in pre-modern literature in China at Harvard University. The one on the right is by Xu Yuanchong, one of the best Chinese translators of classical literature in China. So we can see there are great differences, even though the gist or the meanings of the lines are similar, but there are great differences in these 2 translations. As usual, I will invite you to glance the translations. I hope it's not too overwhelming while I demo the read aloud of the entire poem. So my demo will start now. 送元二使安西，渭城朝雨浥轻尘。客舍青青柳色新，劝君更尽一杯酒。西出阳关无故人。That's it. I want to point out 2 important places, as they are rather important to understand a deeper meaning of this poem. 渭城 and 阳关, which, as you can see in Stephen Owen's translation, it's quite literally translated as Wei city and Yang pass. While in Xu Yuanchong's version, 渭城 is completely absent in the first line, and Yangguan is translated into sunny pass, as the root meaning of Yang is indeed the sun. So I would invite you to perhaps keep it in your mind, the reason why there is a difference here, as we continue our reading and explaining a little bit of these 2 places. Weicheng is close to Xi'an, the modern city of Chang'an, the Tang Empire's capital. Yangguan, a strategically important pass set up by Tang Empire as to manage the territory far away from the center of the empire, especially to the west. For people who are used to the rather cosmopolitan and luxury life in Chang'an, life in the west of Yangguan or the Sunny Pass is often considered as outside of the pass or with a distant reach of the empire, usually described as rather harsh, and journey to those remote areas. In those days, maybe Wang Wei instead of round trip. So with that understanding, now when we look back at the poem, we may have another layer of understanding, which may not be a regular departing song for a friend, but saying goodbye for a lifetime. Nevertheless, all the emotions are very much reserved. 渭城朝雨浥轻尘，客舍青青柳色新. The first two lines set up the stage. The early spring rainy scenery of the guest house, where Wang Wei and Yuan are drinking, maybe, just maybe, for the last time. 劝君更尽一杯酒，西出阳关无故人. The second two lines are direct to the theme, but all the emotions are distilled to 14 characters, drinking one more cup, as such moment may be the last we can have together once you get out of Yangguan. All right, let's get into individual lines. 渭城朝雨浥轻尘，渭城朝雨浥轻尘，客舍青青柳色新，客舍青青柳色新。劝君更尽一杯酒，劝君更尽一杯酒，西出阳关无故人，西出阳关无故人。That's it. Quatrains are very short. So maybe one more time all together from the top. 送元二使安西，渭城朝雨浥轻尘，客舍青青柳色新。劝君更尽一杯酒，西出阳关无故人。
Thanks for your listening. I'm 李白，我是李白。See you next time. 我们下次见。